Morning, Facebook family, friends, and YouTube subscribers. Um, Today is Monday, um, and we're almost through May, it seems. Well, no, not really. Today is just the 5th, I think. Today is May 5th, May 6th, and the weather is kind of chilly outside today. It's a little bit rainy. I wanted to talk to you all about um, a lot of you all. Some people don't know that I've been in a relationship with the same guy for the past 18 years. And sometimes when I post about it, some people are surprised, and then some people know, some of my close friends, I've been with the same person for that period of time. So some people are surprised, and some people are not surprised, and some people just don't know. They don't know that I've been with this pretty much the same guy for the past 18 years. So I get a lot of questions about, well, how did you two guys make that relationship last for 18 years? And I want to say this to anyone entering into a gay relationship as two black men in the United States of America. Relationships are difficult. Black gay relationships are damn near impossible. I have friends that I have known since 1989 who are single and who have never been in a relationship. They've never been in a long-term relationship. Some have never been in a relationship. Some have never been in a relationship longer than just a few years, 12 months, maybe 3 or 4 years. The vast majority of my friends that I've known for over 25 years are single. And I understand to a degree why relationships are difficult. And if you go into a relationship expecting there to be this, if you go into a relationship expecting it to be a peaceful journey, you're going to be in for a surprise. There are going to be fights, there are going to be arguments, there are going to be breakups, there are going to be issues, and especially the longer you're with a person, there's going to be all kinds of stuff that's going to come up. And people always ask, well, how did you all make it through all that? I will never forget when I first got on Facebook, and I was just playing around on Facebook, and I was just responding to different posts and adding friends, and I was just really new to Facebook. And I saw a guy do a post, why do people stay together such long periods of time? Why are people still together 4 and 5 or 6 years? What makes a couple, anyway, so he asked this question, why were people together for long periods of time? Why were gay couples, black gay men, what kept them together? And there were all these negative responses. Oh, they needed each other. They're dependent. They're codependents now. They need the person for the rent. They need something. They need somebody to help them with their bills. They don't know how to live by themselves. They're codependents. There was all this negative comments about why two guys would be together for such a long period of time. So I was reading these comments and I thought about it for a little while. And I said, well, I'm going to respond. This is really my first time really to be responding on someone's post. And so I said, well, I typed in there where I think that one of the reasons why me and my partner stayed together for so long is because we loved each other. And that was very simple, nothing dramatic, just a simple, we were together for so long because we loved each other. So I left my little post and I said, I'll come back and see what people had to say about that. So I looked, the post was gone. And I said, wait a minute, did I do it right? I'm like, I know I posted it, wrote it there, and it was there. Maybe I didn't post it correctly. So I was reading all the comments, and I saw somebody had responded to my post. Somebody said, Walter, well, how long have you and your partner been together? So I'm still reading this up and down the post. I'm like, well, my post is gone now. I wonder what happened. So I sent the guy who a message, and I said, hey, what happened to my post? Did you remove it? Did I do something wrong? He said, yeah, I removed it. It didn't seem genuine. And I'm sitting here reading this. So I went back to his wall and I looked at all those posts. Every post on that wall, every single one of them was negative about relationship. Every single one. The one post that was positive was mine. He took it off. And the reason why I brought that up, guys, from day one in Earl and I's relationship, the biggest problem, the biggest obstacle, our biggest issues weren't he and I. It was our family members, friends, co-workers, employees. When we first got together, my friends and his friends, they were determined that we were going to break up that. They were going to break up that relationship. When we first got together, day one, my friends were out to sabotage this relationship. Day one, from the very beginning. When I look back on it, I was very young, in my mid-20s, and I was under the impression that I was under the foolish impression that my friends would support and stand by me if I'm dating somebody, because I hadn't really been in any long-term relationship, not like that. I'd been in relationships, but this was the first one that I took around my friends and introduced them to them and say, hey, we're dating, we're in a relationship. This is, we just started out. We've been kind of quiet for the past 6 months, but this is the person I've been telling you all about. Baby, them niggas went on a rampage to try to destroy that relationship from day one. When you surround yourself with people, and there's no way to get around this in the black community, period. If you are black, this is a problem. Single people are everywhere. You got single family members, you got single friends, you got single coworkers. And when you let these people know that you're in a relationship, you're going to have a problem. Because they're going to view you differently. And a lot of it's jealousy, envy. It's sad. It's very sad that you would think that these people would celebrate and be happy for you. It doesn't work that way in the black community, and it really don't work that way in the black gay community. I'm telling y'all now. They will try everything in their power to terminate that relationship. They're not just friends, family members too. My mother, his mother, they were something else. They were determined they were going to end that relationship. My own mother would do all kinds of stuff that even in her mind, even today, she's like, she wants to act like she was so innocent about the things that she said and did, but they were very destructive. And they caused huge problems and conflicts between Earl and I, to the point where I literally had to ban my mother from coming over to the house because it was just too much. She was just keeping up too much stuff. The stuff that she would say, church-going Christian woman, you can imagine. And she told her one day, it's Adam and Eve. Is Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. That's why y'all having problems. And when he told me that, I went straight to the house and said, okay, enough of this. Because you just determined. You are determined. My own mother was determined that relationship was not going to go peacefully. And this went on for years between my mother and I. Years. This was not something that she was going to give up too easily. Me and Earl, 18 years together was rough. And it didn't have to be. Even when we start getting rid of friends, which we should have got rid of friends from day one. I mean, that's sad too. You go into a relationship, you think people are going to be happy for you. You got all these friends and stuff. But really, them friends should have been gone. Them motherfuckers should have been gone. Because they're not jealousy and envy. When you got gay friends who've never been in a relationship, have no hope of being in a relationship, can't find nobody to be in a relationship, you got to get rid of them people. Or at least keep them away from your partner, which is difficult to do. Because you still got a life to live. Earl was still going to the clubs. I was still going out with my friends. Earl would go out to the club with his friends and see my friends, and they would say all this negative shit about me. It was just unreal. I never forget when the biggest conflict, I will never forget this one. Earl and I had made the decision. I had purchased a house downtown, big old house in the old 4th Ward on Rankin Street. So I purchased this house, and Earl was living in Grant Park in Roosevelt. And it got to a point where his lease was up, and we had been discussing this for about 2 years about living together, and this was in 1998. So his lease was up, and the decision was made that he was going to not renew his lease. He was going to move in with me. I never forget the morning of the move. I was on my way to get a U-Haul, and a friend called me and said, "Hey, what are you doing today?" I said, "Well, I'm on my way to get a U-Haul because it helped Earl move. He's moving in with me." My friend was like, "Why are you doing that? Don't move him in there with you. You don't need to do that. I would not. Don't move him in there. That's the worst mistake you can make." And I was like, "Well, why? Why is it so bad for this man to, shit, need some help with this mortgage payment over here. Why should he be over there paying them damn rent so he can come over here and help me pay this shit over here?" And my friends were so adamant that morning, "Don't do it. You making the worst mistake. Don't move that man into the house. Keep your freedom. You're just making a horrible decision." So I listened to this fool. I'm driving like, "Fuck this damn bitch. This nigga moving in here. I need some help." I said, "This is going to ease up on a whole lot of pain and suffering over here for me." This is 1998. I was 28 years of age. I had a $3,000 mortgage payment. $3,000. So I said, okay. Went over there to get Earl stuff. Earl was on the phone. I get there. Earl's talking to his friends. His friends telling him, "Don't move in with Walter. Don't do it. Oh my God, Walter's crazy. You're making the worst mistake. You're giving up your freedom. Don't be moving in." So I'm listening to Earl on the phone. I'm like, "They're telling you not to move in with me, honey." I said, "That's funny," because I just hung up with another friend of mine, and he's telling me to not move you into my house. So Earl's looking at me like, "Really? He told you that?" I said, "Yes. He told me, do not let you move in there because I'm making the worst mistake." He's like, "Well, they're telling me the same thing." I said, "Well, we both grown ass men. Why the hell why are we listening to these crazy people? Let's get this stuff. You already packed up. Let's get moved and let's be done with it." There was so much tension because of the day started off with so much tension from these phone calls that by the time, moving is a bitch anyway. And by the time we moved that shit out to Roosevelt, got into that truck, got it over to the house and up that hill, we were exhausted. And there was still some tension in the air about these phone calls we received from nosy people telling us not to move in together. And literally, Earl stuff, we took his stuff and set it in the living room. So we didn't know where to, put it at because I had a house full of furniture. We were trying to figure out what we were going to do with his stuff, what we were going to do with mine, So all his stuff was sitting in the living room. And then Earl went to a party. Yeah, a party. My house is now in disarray. I didn't help you move all this shit in. And now you running out to a party with the nigga that told you don't move in with me. So I was pissed. Literally, he dropped this shit off and said, "Well, I'm going someplace. I'm going to a cookout." Because it's summertime. Summer was just getting started. Because I'll never forget it because summer was just getting started. It was, the weather was nice. He was on his way to a cookout after I just lugged all this shit up this damn hill. I lived on top of a hill. We couldn't get the U-Haul up the hill, so we had to unload that U-Haul at the foot of the hill and drag all this shit up there. Now, I'm used to having moving companies move my stuff. So now we had to move all his heavy furniture up that hill into my house, and then he ran off to a party. So the stuff is sitting in the house is in disarray, and I'm tired as hell. So for a brief second, I thought about throwing that shit out on the damn curb and calling it a fucking day and say, "Y'all are right." And I was so angry and so mad. And a friend of mine came over, and he was like, I'm glad that you guys moved in, but I don't know if you guys going to probably have problems moving in together. And I was like, well, why is everybody so against us moving in? I don't understand. Why are you all up in my business? I'm not asking you all who you living with. I don't care who you guys are staying with. I don't care who's living in your house. Why are you worried about who's living in mine? I didn't get it. I've never in my life inserted myself into someone else's relationship. It's none of my fucking business. But so many people, and this was just the start, there were so many people over the years who interfered in our relationship. It was unreal. It was unreal. I mean, and people are like, oh, you shouldn't let people in your business. We weren't letting people in their business. They just forced themselves into it. And they created a lot of conflict. So we lived together from 1998 in that house, and then we moved to another home. We made a couple of moves together. We lived in many houses together. We were buying and selling real estate, so we were moving from house to house. But we spent the bulk of our time, about 10 years up in Buckhead, at this massive house, where there was a lot of drama at that house. We had a pool, we had friends over, we had parties. In retrospect, looking back, it's the sad part is I shouldn't have done any of that stuff. But we were young, we wanted to enjoy life. We had money, we had a nice house. Why would we have these things that we couldn't invite friends over? But inviting those friends over kept so much shit going. And I would tell her, why do you listen to these people? Ignore these people. They kept so much drama going on and on and on and on. So one day, me and Earl fell out, and we had some new homes up the Georgia 400 closer to Sandy Springs, and he ended up moving out. And that was the first time we'd separated. And that was in 2003. So from late 2002 to 2004, we were in separate homes. He had his own place, I had my own place. And our relationship, we terminated for a brief minute, then we got back together, but we just lived in separate homes. And then in 2004, we got back together, moved into another house, and moved back in together. Relationships are complicated, people. We've had fights. We've had arguments. We've been arrested. Mm-hmm. Earl called the police. Earl was good at causing these conflicts and fights and then getting me all riled up and we get into a fight. And he called 911 for backup. So, of course, the police come over there. And one day, the police that came to visit us in Buckhead just one too many times too often. And they just had enough. And I heard the sergeant on the phone, lock them up. And we went to jail. We spent 2 days in jail. 2 nights in jail at Atlanta City Jail in the same jail cell. Isn't that something? We get into a fight. They put us in the back of a paddy wagon, drag us to Grady Hospital jail because they thought he was injured. He wasn't. Got a little nick on his head. Thought he was injured. Held us in there for 2 days in the Atlanta City Jail. We go in front of the judge that we both knew who was our neighbor. Isn't that something? We stand in front of our neighbor. He looking at us like, huh? What's going on? And we like, well, they let us go. They dismissed the charges. We've been through a lot. A lot. A whole hell of a lot. And people wonder, how can you make a relationship last that long? It takes hard work. It takes somebody having a seat and sitting it down and shutting the fuck up. Somebody's got to have a seat. In 2 male-to-male relationships, there's a war that's going on. There's a clash of the titans, as I call it. You got all this testosterone, all these issues, all these problems. Then you're surrounded by all these people who despise you, despise your relationship, despise what you're doing, despise the fact that you're happy and in love. They don't like it. And you got to live through this shit. You still got to deal with these friends and family members sitting up in your house at Thanksgiving eating up your damn food, knowing you want to bash them across their fucking head with that turkey drumstick they eating for all the shit they didn't started over the past year. What can you do? Cut off these people? You know, eventually, that's what it came down to. It reached a point as we got older that we had to cut off all these people. Neither he nor I have most of the same friends that we had when we first started. His close friends are gone. My close friends are gone. I'm still dealing with a few, but they don't come around here. They don't come around here, and I don't go around. I see them, I say hello, we go out to dinner, we hang out, and that's about it. There's nothing really I can do. These people, they're still single. It's funny because I spoke to my ex that I was dating before I met Earl in 1995. My ex that I was dating before I met Earl in 2013. I spoke to him just yesterday. I said, well, what's been going on all these years? I mean, because I really don't ask him any questions about his personal business. He is my ex. I said, what's been going on all these years? I mean, have you ever been dating anybody? What was the longest relationship you ever had? That man told me, my ex that I was dating before I met Earl told me the longest relationship he ever had was when he and I dated in 1994, 95. So in all those years, he hadn't been dating anybody else or in a relationship. That's the problem with the gay community, particularly the black gay community. You got a lot of single guys out here. You got a lot of single guys, and they will try everything in their power to throw your loving relationship under the bus. You got a lot of single people who don't give a damn about you and your relationship, and they will terminate it as best they can. That's why those relationships don't last. It's not, sometimes you got, of course, we had our own issues to deal with within the relationship. That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother 5 videos. Yeah, that's a whole nother 20-hour segment. I'll be here all fucking day talking about the own problems that we created ourselves. And Lord, I did create some problems. I did. So, but yeah, we've been together 18 years. Broke up from makeup to breakup to makeup to breakup and back again. We're still here living together. We've been living together pretty much ever since we moved back in together in 2004. It is what it is. I'm not, could things be better? Yeah, things could be better. Things could be worse. A lot of details I really wanted to go into, but this video is way longer than I even thought it was going to be. But when you're talking about somebody's relationship that you've had for 18 years, I can imagine it will be longer because it's already at 22 minutes. I'm like, I thought it was going to be a 10-minute video. And I didn't even get a chance to discuss any of the stuff I really wanted to discuss about how to make a loving relationship work. That's another video. That's a whole other video. Maybe I'll do that one later on. But yeah, 18 years together, it is what it is, with conflicts, love, and everything else. Anyway, I'm going to continue to sip on my coffee and cook some breakfast and head to the gym and deal with all the stuff I deal with on Mondays. 10:34. Time for me to end this for now. But if you have any questions about how do you make a relationship last that long, I have a lot of insight on how to make these relationships last because I've lived through it. I'm still living through it. Not a perfect person, neither is Earl, but we've made it through a storm. I don't think a lot of other people could have made it. There was a lot of stuff that took place in this relationship that, by rights, probably would have destroyed this relationship, but we made it through it. So you guys, if you like the video, of course, click like. Give me some feedback. It's long as hell. So give me some feedback. Sorry it's so long. And you guys have a great day. And please check out my other videos too and give me some comments. What do you think about it? And let me know if you know anybody who's in a long-term relationship. How long have you been together? Even if it's yourself, how long have you and your partners been together? I'm very curious to know. You guys have a great day. Bye.